Hey, what's up? I'm Earth Angel 111. So this is going to be a little bit different. This is different ways that you can tell that someone has an entity attached to them or a lower vibration, okay? Number one is going to be that they indulge in a lot of toxic behaviors. And more so than just the obvious, okay, of partying, sleeping with a lot of people. This could even be in the terms of narcissistic abuse, bullying, targeting individuals, purposely trying to make another person feel less than. Often more than not, that is a sign directly of someone having an entity attached to them, because when you are pure-hearted, you know better than to pass judgment on another person or try to put them down for your own self-ego gain or amusement. Second way you can tell that someone has an entity attached to them. If you are someone who practices celibacy and someone is purposely trying to make you feel pressured or influenced into being physically intimate with them. So this could be someone you go on a date with, someone you're dating, someone you're just getting to know. And for some of you even, it can be those as well who make fun of you for being celibate. So, for example, there are certain men or women out there who will claim to be celibate, and there will be people who debate whether or not that's their truth. If anyone's out here trying to pass judgment on another person and say, oh no, that person's not celibate, that's not true, that is a direct example of having a lower vibrational entity attached to them. Because in what way, shape, or form is it up to another person to judge whether or not someone is telling the truth about their celibacy? Because most importantly, celibacy is done for one of many reasons. Celibacy is chosen because of your connection to God. Celibacy can be chosen as well from a connection of realizing that when you give out your body freely to other individuals, right? That allows lower vibrations, people in lower vibrations, to attach themselves to you or to harness your energy. And also too, people have reasons for celibacy as of being misused in a physical sense in relationships by strangers. Okay, a lot of people choose celibacy because they have their own story of trauma or their own connection to God as to why they're choosing to be celibate. So there's no reason out here why you should ever hear another man or a woman questioning, either to their face or behind the person's back, saying, oh, that's not true, they're not celibate. That is a direct indication that someone has a lower vibrational entity attached to them. Another way that you can tell someone has a lower vibrational entity attached to them is they are focused solely on ego. So egotistical things like appearance, materialistic things like money, someone's appearance, how many cars they got parked in the driveway, how much money they got in the bank account. Although all those things are great, money does not buy happiness, and money will not feed your soul. Money will not make you feel rich in spirit. God will. Being a good person will. Choosing to do good by others will. And so the final thing as well is the biggest way to tell someone has an entity attached to them is if they are purely combating authority positions, other people, trying to undermine them, and trying to essentially lie, cheat, or steal to get their way to a higher form in life. That is the direct example that you can tell that someone is listening subconsciously or consciously to a lower vibrational attached to them, that they're no longer in their own sound mind or judgment to make decisions of a moral standing. And while I will add that no one out here is perfect, okay? Everyone has opportunities or decisions they don't make right. But when someone continues to not learn and continues to move in these behaviors or behavior patterns, continues to pass judgment on others by bullying, putting them down, constantly belittling them, whether that is in your workplace, your friend group, or total strangers, or even online, that is a huge way to tell that someone is not worth Spending a moment thinking about when you know that they're purposely not themselves because they have some sort of lower vibrational entity attached to them and their decision making.